topic that unfortunately I'm all too familiar with because from an early age I had a lot of anger issues about my father, and I allowed that anger to really eat at me for a lot of years. I want to share a quote with you from Mark Twain. This quote says, "Anger is an acid that can do more harm to the vessel in which it is stored than to anything on which it is poured." And I really do believe this quote is really true, that when you're angry, most of the time the person that you're angry at isn't even around. Imagine, for example, you're at home alone and you're sitting there thinking about a situation that just has you furious inside, and you're just like, oh, like you want revenge, and it's just eating at you. Think about how you feel and what it's doing to your well-being, because you could be sitting there just with a happy feeling, but instead you're sitting there just in torment pretty much, because it is eating you up from the inside out. It starts on the inside and it works its way, it manifests its way through the outside, through your actions, through the way you look. Think about it. You could be, you frown, and you feel it, and then it affects the way that you behave as well, because you would make different decisions because you were that angry. Now, there is another school of thought that when you have that type of anger, that you can use it to motivate you. And that is what I did. I think that my drive to succeed began with my anger with my father, because I wanted to prove to him that I was better than he thought I was, because he abandoned my brother and I, and it showed that he really didn't care, that he really didn't think he was losing anything, and I wanted to show him what he lost. So there's a part of me that thinks, okay, well, is it all bad? I know that the feeling is bad. It is bad to have those feelings, but if you're able to flip it around and use that anger to produce positive results, then I do believe there's a way to make it work for you. And it could just be like the coping mechanism that I came up with. But there is true liberation in letting go. Let me read another quote to you. This is author unknown on this one, but it's a pretty popular quote. "The first to apologize is the bravest. The first to forgive is the strongest. The first to forget is the happiest." And I really do think that this one is true as well. I think it takes a bigger person to let it go. You think about the person you're having a disagreement with. Think about the power if you were to approach them and say, "Hey, I just want to let you know that I forgive you for what happened, and I have let it go. Imagine the power in that, especially if the other person is still feeling like maybe they got some sort of satisfaction out of making you feel bad, feeling like they're keeping you down. And if you let them know that you forgive them and you let it go, how liberating and how powerful that is to take it away from them. Maybe even just if you don't feel it, if you don't feel the forgiveness, but you say it, it has to help. It has to be like the beginning stages of the healing process. Because you can't just hold on to it. I've said this in a couple videos, but there's another quote about revenge, that the greatest revenge is massive success. And I believe that the only way to have that massive success is to let it go, or to flip the anger around and use it as motivation. Because some people are wicked and they take pleasure in inflicting pain on people. Maybe they're envious and they're jealous, and so they try to hurt you to try to keep you down. And that way maybe they're not in a place they want to be. And like the old saying, misery loves company. They don't want you to succeed, and so they inflict their venom on you to try to keep you down. So many people are like that. It's why it's just so important to hang around people that are uplifting. They say we become the average of the 5 people we hang around the most. And so think about what you want to be, and where you are, and who you spend the most time with. And if those people that you're surrounding yourself with are not the type of people that have the same ambitions, they don't have to be where you want to be. But if they don't have the ambitions and the desire to be where you want to be, for example, if you're young, 18, 19, 20, it would be hard to be hanging around with millionaires, but you could be hanging around with young people that hope to be millionaires, if that's what you want to be. And so all of you are doing like productive things and focused on your future, focused on hard work and doing the things that you need to do to propel your life forward to get you in a better financial situation. But if you're hanging around people that are just, they're lazy, or they're committing crimes, or they're doing drugs, anything that is, deviant behavior that leads to no good, you know what you need to do. You need to get those people out of your life, because inevitably they will keep you down. It's like if you take a basket of apples and you put one bad one in there, the rest of them rot. But if you take a basket of rotten ones and you put one good one in there, it doesn't turn the bad ones good. It's like that. You really do you have to be so careful about what you do. And so healing from anger, it's important. You've got to, I think you just sit and analyze, okay, look, you have the anger inside of you, and you have to think about, what can I do to let this go? I can't hold this inside, so what can I do? It isn't easy. I'm not sitting here saying I've got the magic key to quickly getting over anger. It's hard. I've been angry so many times in my life. people that have hurt me, people that have stole from me, girls that have broke my heart. That's been more pain than anger, but there's still some anger in there if it was like a cheating or something. But like, for example, in that situation where I had a girlfriend that cheated on me, part of it was dealing with that pain and anger, being mad at the guy, being mad at her. But through that analysis of trying everything I could to get over that hurt, I was able to realize that part of the problem was me. When I was younger, I was insecure because I wasn't where I wanted to be in life. And because I was insecure, it was like weakness, and it was unattractive. And so the girl that cheated on me was looking for a strong man, and at the time I wasn't strong. So self-analysis happens a lot in situations like that. Sometimes you have to blame yourself, and I believe that in times like that, it's probably best to blame yourself, because when you carry the blame, you can correct it. If it's somebody else's fault, well, then you can't fix it because you can't fix them. And I think that's a pervasive problem in our society today, which is the victim mindset. Once you adopt the victim mindset that it's everybody else's fault, it's society's fault, it's capitalism's fault, it's the economy's fault. If it's the economy's fault, how are you going to fix that? You see, if you blame the economy for your lack of success, how can you possibly fix it? Because you can't fix the economy. All you can do, if you think it's the economy's fault for your lack of success, the only thing you can do is wait for the economy to get better and then try to do something, right? But no, you have to say, no matter what, no matter whether it's raining or sunny, no matter whether the economy's good or bad, no matter anything, I am going to make it. That is the attitude that you need. And it's the same attitude with getting over somebody that has hurt you. Hatred, somebody hates you. Getting over that is saying, look, I can't make this person like me, but I am not going to be miserable just because they hate me. I have got to move on. I have got to be a stronger person. I have got to be a better person. And how do I do that? I think, like the saying says, it starts with forgiveness. You have to forgive that person for hating you and let it go. It's a liberating event when you say, I don't care. I don't care if they hate me or not. I am going to be happy. I'm not going to let them steal my happiness from me. And I can't let this be like an acid. I will not be the vessel storing acid and letting it eat me from the inside out. I'm not going to do it. I am going to be better than that. I'm going to be better than them. And I am going to overcome no matter what. I think that's what it takes. Each individual person has the power to overcome anything. There's so many examples in life. Like, I think about my own situation, and though I've tried to be inspirational for a lot of you guys and telling my story about how I was so poor when I was young and how I was able to work my way through poverty and find myself in a position now where I'm in a good place. My story is nothing compared to so many people's that have overcome unbelievable obstacles. People that have been in prison that were falsely convicted. People that have been years and years and years and persevered through that. People that have lived in countries of true, like, hunger poverty. Like, I was in poverty because my parents were poor. And I wore, like when kids were getting new shoes to start the school year, I didn't get new shoes. I was wearing the same shoes I wore the year before. I was in financial poverty, but I was never hungry, you know. So we were eating food I didn't really like, you know, canned beans and things like that. It was still nourishment. I was never malnourished, but people have overcome that. It reminds me of the saying, I once felt sorry for myself because of my ragged shoes until I met a man with no feet. And that really puts life into perspective. You know, my dirty shoes were nothing compared to people that have overcame obstacles like that. You know, being born with physical abnormalities or diseases. You know, guys that went to war and got their legs blown off. You know, and they come back and start companies, and so many people there's just so many great stories out there, and that's why it's easy to look at those people and say, if they can do it, I can do it. You know? So today I can honestly say I have no anger in my heart, you know, but I see the world, you know, like, for example, in America today, there's this, we get caught up, like the world is in turmoil, certain conflicts in the world, like Israel and Palestine, and there's like a big faction of society. You see people in the streets, like, raging over something that really does not affect their own lives. Now, I'm not saying it's wrong to care. It's not wrong to care. It's okay to care. But to let that eat you up to the point that you're raging and you're wanting to commit violence, it's dangerous. It is truly dangerous. You're much better to just talk about it with people and try to talk through and talk civilly, you know, not with anger. You know, our political divisions are at the worst that I've ever seen them since I've been alive. I know it's not the worst because we've had a civil war before, but at least in my lifetime, they're at the highest degree of, it's the most anger I've ever seen in society since I've been alive. And I think that people just have this anger stored up, and when you think about anger being an acid, you understand that so many people are filled with acid, with this rage, that they just need to let go, you know? Because you're never going to change anybody's mind with violence. You're never going to change anybody's mind by yelling at them or raging at them. It's not how it works. You know, people can change their mind through, you know, peaceful dialogue and talking things through and explanations and understanding, you know. I wouldn't even hardly listen to anybody if they were yelling at me. I would just be thinking to myself, how can I get away from this situation? I wouldn't even be listening to the words they're saying. But if somebody's saying, hey, can I talk to you about something? Because I think you have this opinion, and I wanted to see if we could talk this through so that you at least understand where I'm coming from. And I have. I've changed my mind on a lot of things. Like, interestingly, my last video, maybe not the last one, maybe the second to the last video, I made a video about brands and like people that spend ridiculous money on items, and I brought up the example of like handbags and like women that spend like $2,500 $500 for one handbag. I've seen some for like $5 or $6 grand even. There's probably $20,000 handbags out there. It's just unbelievable. I'm a man. I don't get it. It's not, I don't buy handbags. I don't even carry a wallet anymore because this is my phone case. I just keep like my credit cards and my license and credit cards in my phone case. So I don't even carry a wallet. I don't wear jewelry. Again, it's like, because I just think it's crazy. I'm sitting here talking to you. Does it matter if I had a chain on or not? Right? Anyway, my point is, one of my female subscribers said something like, hey, Derek, if you get yourself to a comfortable position in life financially, it's okay if you want to treat yourself to something. It's not about what somebody else thinks. It's about, for her, it was a symbol for her of like something that she could do to treat herself. And I thought, yeah, there's an example of something that, okay, you're right. Those are situations that I was not taking into account, So there's always different things. Like, I'm not like stuck in my ways. I'll listen to people, and my mind is like, I'm definitely open to change. Now, some things, like, it would be very difficult to change my mind, but I love talking to people that believe differently because I'm fascinated. I'm like, how can you believe this? It's like some people think women, biological men, should be able to compete in women's sports. And again, the people out there are yelling at the top of their lungs and, screaming about it. No, I can't listen to them. But if somebody said, hey, Derek, listen, think about it this way. Again, it's going to be very difficult to change my mind on that. But I'm open to listening to people. And so many people, like in the comments when I've made like controversial topic videos, people with opposing views have written very respectful comments saying, hey, I disagree, and here's why. And, that's the kind of peaceful discord that I think we need in our world, civilized discussion. And I think that this goes back to the anger thing. That's how you fix it. You're never going to fix it with rage and violence. You have to find a way to let the anger go. So I know I was a little all over the map. I wasn't just focused on anger in this, but I hope this helped you. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to it, and I appreciate getting suggestions sometimes on what to talk about, because I'm making several videos a week, and like so many times people will comment and say, hey Derek, can you talk about this? And I'm like, dude, I made that video like 8 months ago. But some of you are newer, and so you haven't seen some of my older content. And like, so for my subscribers that have been here a long time, it's like I kind of feel bad because I'm like, I don't want to repeat it. But then it's weird because I have new subscribers that haven't seen my older stuff, so I'll probably be rehashing some of my older stuff, just kind of doing different takes on them in the future. So I hope you don't mind that. And yeah. Anyway, I appreciate you watching. If you're new, please subscribe to the channel, and if not, please definitely give me a thumbs up. And I appreciate your time.